Bitcoin is currently trading at 61,000 US dollars right here. Now, also in other news, Facebook and has now rebranded to Meta, which has led to a lot of pumping of the metaverse coins. And also in other news, big news as Bitcoin is getting approval from Australian Securities Exchange Commission as a crypto spot ETF. Welcome back to another video from Crypto Life Inc. I'm Ed, living here with the Crypto Life in my little singlet on a nice, beautiful Australia's evening. And it's a very great evening tonight, very good weather. And I'm happy to bring you this market update today. Trying to bring you the best sort of information out there in a concise amount of time, relatively speaking. Now, let's get into the news first. We're going to be covering some news, and then have a look at the general market in terms of long-term overview, so we don't get emotionally invested in the news. And then from that, I'll lead into some price analysis and sort of bring all the news together with the price, so we have a better idea of what price will be doing in the near future. And the reason why I'm doing that is because what's the point of reading the news if you don't know what the price is, right? So there's no point reading the news. You'd be better off just looking at the chart if you're just going to do one of those things. But I'll be doing that for you, so don't you worry. All right, now, so we're getting into our first article here with Bitcoin hitting the big time crypto ETF. Now, this is not the first ETF we've seen. So we've seen a futures ETF, which is the biggest one so far. It's called BITO. That's the ticker, and it's a ProShares futures-based ETF in America. Now, that's a big one that hit the headlines a few weeks back. Right now, Australia is getting its own spot ETF. And this is not the first spot ETF either. So Canada has also had a spot ETF as well. But this is good news for Australia. Good news for any Australian citizens as well. What I will say, though, is this is not yet implemented. But this will bring a lot of hype to the market, because Australia's a pretty big country. And with that comes with a big market and big economy, and with this ETF could mean a lot more liquidity coming into the crypto markets, which would increase the price. But as an individual, I would recommend against this ETF, not for any security reasons, although it could be security reasons, like holding your own Bitcoin is evidently much more safer than giving it away for someone else to hold. But also because of the financial reason, which is ETFs have an admin fee. Now, why would you pay an admin fee when you don't have to? Which is the case here. So I would just recommend, if you are an individual waiting for this ETF to come out, I wouldn't wait based on this ETF to come out. I would just, if I wanted to invest in Bitcoin, I would buy it spot. And what that means is I would just buy the actual asset and just hold it myself, so I don't have to pay the admin fee. All right. So next is our announcement not our announcement, but Facebook's announcement that they are renaming to Meta. Now, what is Meta? So Meta refers to the metaverse, and the metaverse is pretty much just like the internet world, or like the cyber world, right? And what it's also linked in with VR. So VR is like the metaverse, where you have different sort of assets, or not even assets, or just objects in the metaverse that you can own through NFTs. And this links in a lot with NFTs and a lot with NFT gaming, where you sort of own different assets in this this digital world. And that's led to a lot of coins pumping, like Decentraland and the Sandbox, and we've seen that over the last week due to this news as well. Next is Squid Investors. So yeah, this is the I don't know how to describe this. This is the rug pull of the week, Squid token. Pretty much this is a scam. If you're hearing about it now for the first time, do not buy this. definitely do not buy this. There are many instances of many people not being able to sell this coin despite the pump and dump, right? But following this right now is well, people still can't be able to see. People still can't sell this, but people are still buying. So you shouldn't definitely not continue buying this. All right. Next, we're going to be getting into some of our favorite coins, favorite altcoins. There's a lot of news coming up about these altcoins having events. So for Solana, the event is the 7th to the 10th, called Breakpoint. And here, this is basically a speaker-led event, much like the B word was for Bitcoin. Next is Polkadot. Polkadot has the Parachain auction starting 11th of November. It has quite a few of these, so I think there's around 5 of these Parachain auctions. Next is Cronos, which is the CRO token for Crypto.com exchange, and that's launching on the 8th of November. So within pretty much like quite soon, there's going to be like a lot of big news with these sort of updates to the network. We'll have a look and see if that means that the price will go up or price will go down in a short while. Next here is CoinDesk. Now CoinDesk, this is just the news site, but this is the crypto tax infrastructure bill that has been ongoing for the past few months. And essentially what this means is, I believe this bill, what this article is saying is that there was another provision included to the bill that stokes fear into the crypto industry. Basically, it's trying to tax people like holders of the coin, or not holders of the coin, but also like monitor all people's transactions. So this is obviously not good. But don't be afraid. This is still yet to be implemented, and many things can happen from now and when it's implemented, and it's set to implement like sometime next year, so it's not anything urgent right now, and it probably won't be affecting price action anytime soon. Right, and our final article that we want to look at, or maybe just Twitter post, is from Plan B. So this is a very famous cryptocurrency analyst who has been right with his predictions on the floor of Bitcoin price. So what is the floor? Basically the lowest price by the end of the month. And so he predicted greater than 47k in terms of US dollars, greater than 43k in September in terms of US dollars, and October 63k. It hit 62, and greater than 98k in November. So and December as well. So from this, I'm judging that probably do go up in price based on his predictions. I mean, he's been right so far, and his stock to flow model that we see here. Oh shit! His stock to flow model that we see here, in this, in this diagram here, has been really, really good as well. I just realized I did not minimize my face the entire time, so let me just scroll through the articles just again so you can see like what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is the Bitcoin crypto ETF. This is Meta from Facebook's actual website. This is Squid Token article. Breakpoint event from Solana's website. Parachain auction right here. Cronos mainnet from Crypto.com's actual website. And CoinDesk. Yeah. So pretty much I just looked at the titles anyway. If you want, you can search up these titles and go through them more in depth yourself. But essentially, I'll bring this back up again when we look at the dates in confluence with the price action when we get into it, which we will be doing real soon. Real soon. Okay. All right. Okay, let's move on to our long-term technical analysis, which we have here. Boom. Right. So what does this mean? Once we hit 100, we're at the peak. Currently at a 60. Still far away from there, but rising, which is good. Which is very, very good. And very, very good for price action as well. So what you can see is whenever we hit a top on this blue line, it means we've peaked. We haven't hit a top yet. So we haven't peaked yet. There we go. Moving on to the next chart. Right, Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve. As you can see, I've zoomed into price action from the October 2020 to currently. As you can see, the upper bound right now is 140,000. The lower bound is 24,000 in US dollars. If we zoom in more, it looks like we're about to test the midline, about $56,000. Right. Now, what I see here is whenever we get above the midline, that's generally quite good support, and we don't really see that again until the end of the cycle. So what I'm suggesting here is we probably won't see prices less than $57,000 on a daily closing basis. Next, let's look at the fear and greed index. So fear and greed is now at a 71. It's not that high at all. If we look at it in the 1 year time frame, right? So typically last time we saw it actually maintained levels this high for like about 2 weeks, and it's about doing the same thing before having a drop. This may have a drop, but to be honest, I feel like it can go very much higher, like in the 90s, before we can actually expect and produce like a prediction on the price action based off this indicator. Next is the Pi cycle top indicator. Now, pretty much we had a signal here on the 12th of April. Now this indicator has been very, very good. So the past 4 iterations, it's worked out 4 times. But also notice we did get 2 bounces off this this orange moving average here, which has held as support, and we are getting an upside curvature. Now what does that mean? Getting an upside curvature doesn't mean that we'll touch the green, which is the signal, right, for a top, but we are leading into it. So what I do predict is that we probably will get a top in the future. Now what you've noticed is once we get a top and once we get a downside signature, we don't ever see a top until the next cycle. But once we start getting an upside signature, that is the sort of hint that we are getting a top. So just like in 2013, we got a downside pull of the orange moving average after a top, and now we're bringing price action up into the next top. And so I am expecting that the top will be incoming sooner rather than later. But I will let you know whenever this moving average gets closer and closer, because, well, it's been right accurate to 3 days. So that's pretty damn good. 4 out of 4 times. This is not something to be ignored. Next is the MRVZ score. Basically, when we get the red band, that's the top. We're on the red band, so we're looking all good. Next is the pure multiple. So once we get really, really low, that's buy signal. Once we get really, really high, sell signal. We're just in the midway point right now. Nothing to be concerned about. Next is the relative unrealized profit and loss. Now I'm adding this one in just to get a sort of zone of what we could expect, because this has been pretty good for like selling areas in the past. So this is probably areas that you want to take profit at. As you can see, we're not even in take profit area right now, let alone euphoria, which is probably when you want to sell your stash. And as you can see, we never got into the euphoria zone earlier this year either, so we're still in the optimism stage, right? So this is still a good time to accumulate, considering also Bitcoin has been going sideways for the last 3 weeks. Next is that I'm adding is the altcoin season. Now what you notice is whenever we hit a bottom, we lead into a top. Whenever we hit the top, we lead into the bottom. Right now we hit the bottom in August, so we're now leading into the top. Basically, altcoins will start pumping. The best time to buy altcoin is when it's Bitcoin season. The best time to buy Bitcoin was an altcoin season. But as you can see, it was altcoin season up here. But you don't want to be buying Bitcoin up there because it was dropping. But over here, you definitely want to be buying altcoins because Bitcoin was rising, so altcoins will be rising even more. Now we're leading into a stronger altcoin season, so I still suggest that probably is a decent time to be buying altcoins in the near future. Maybe not right now, but maybe we're waiting for a pullback on the altcoin season until we do buy it. It looks like we probably will get a good buy sooner rather than later. All right. I'm gonna take a little drink. My voice is getting pretty extended over here before we reach into price action. Oh man, if you go down here, as you can see over the last 90 days, FTM token has been performed really, really well. even better than SHIB token over the last 90 days. So FTM, Solana, AVAX, all really good coins to be looking at in the future. And this is a good way to sort of filter out some good coins compared to the worse coins. So yeah, I mean, FTM looks like a really good buy, and so does Solana. Oh, he even got Axie Infinity, Luna, Near, Mana. Looking good, looking good. All right, let's get into some price action. All right, so Bitcoin has been going sideways here for 3 months. Interesting. Now, what we notice here is that as we've been going sideways, if I put on the moving averages here, so we've got I'm just putting in some exponential moving averages on the daily time frame. This is the yellow 21 exponential moving average and the 55 exponential moving average in green, and the purple 200 moving average and the white 200 simple moving average. So just looking at this, whenever we're trending like we are now, it's generally a pretty good opportunity to buy at the yellow moving averages right here. Now, if that does break, another good opportunity is to buy the green moving average. And now if the green moving average does break, then it's good to buy in the purple moving average. And so what we can see is as we go down in the moving averages, the number of days in the moving averages increases, right? So we go from 21 to 55 to 200. And the longer the day of the moving average, the more sort of support, the stronger the support, pretty much, if we do get down there. So what do I think price will be doing? Well, based off this, currently we've just been bouncing off this yellow moving average. So 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces. That's pretty good. I mean, until we see like a closure, like a daily closure, maybe like this, below the yellow exponential moving average, I don't really see any downside. But if we do get a daily closure and not a reversal, the next closure, then we probably will see price head towards the green moving average, and that would be another good buying opportunity. Right there. But what we see now is because Bitcoin has been consolidating for the last 3 weeks, essentially altcoins have been putting in a lot more movement compared to Bitcoin. And this is just typical behavior. Once Bitcoin stalls and it's in a bullish posturing, altcoins will just be booming. But I do expect Bitcoin to be popping up once again. If we do look at Bitcoin dominance, so Bitcoin dominance, this is just a measurement of Bitcoin as a percent of the total cryptocurrency market cap. What we see here is we see a lot of bottoms. So bottomed here, it's heading downwards. So it is a downtrend, but we see a lot of bottoms. So bottom, and then it does look like maybe we do go down a little bit further, and then we probably will bottom around this 40 region as well, and then probably get a rise up from there. So it does look good for the crypto market in general. Now, what I like to do is I like to draw your attention to this RSI. Now, what is this RSI? This is a daily time frame. It's pretty much, I've drawn trend lines on this RSI, and these are support lines. So the longer the trend line, the stronger the support for RSI. So this is back to January, and as you see, we tested it back here on 11th of September at the $40,000 lows. So I'm just looking at this and I'm just like, wow, this is looking very good. We did test it again at the $58,000 lows. And guess what? We've just been going up and sideways since then. So what do I suggest? We may actually see a test back in here again if we get a wick back down, maybe below $60,000 yet again. But I do expect that to hold because of this line has been going since the 30th of July and been going till now. So that's a 3-month long trend line. And so if we ever do get a test back in here, I suspect that's a buying opportunity. And right now, I suspect it's a buying opportunity as well because it's basing off this yellow exponential moving average, which is all in all very, very good. If we put on the Bollinger Bands as well, we can see that price has been contracting right here. And if also we look at the volume, we can see that volume is steadily going down. Now, whenever volume goes down like this, it generally wants to pop back up. And what that means is the big move is coming. whether to the upside or downside. But I have a bias to the upside because, well, also Plan B's prediction, and also because we've essentially got so much support on these exponential moving averages and on the RSI as well. Now let's dig into some lower term time frames, shorter term time frames, so we can see like just basically where we expect price to go sooner rather than later. So I'm gonna hop on to the next tab over here, and now we're looking at. Don't worry about these all these charts. I'm just gonna zoom into Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. So, what am I seeing here? Basically, I'm just going to be applying the same approach, but on a lower time frame. Now, please note that lower term time frames, while they are good for near-term action, the lower the time frame, the less support there is. Just like moving averages. So if we look at this right here, we can see we broke out of this consolidation pattern from the 20th of October, and we bounced on the 1st of November. So right here. Now, if we ever do come back down, I do expect a bounce, probably off this moving average, the white 20 simple or the 200, the white 200 simple or the 200 exponential over here, and that's some little bit under 60k. So I do expect anything under 60k is another good buying opportunity right now. Now what we see here is okay, I've got this yellow vertical line here. Now that was the Ethereum Altair update. What you can see here is during the day it didn't move, but because the update was bullish, they decided to move the price on the same day. So they held it there. The price was held at the update price, generally around there, and then they moved it up, right? So what can we see here? We're sort of seeing the same sort of thing right here, where price comes down, and then there's an update, and then it moves up. We're getting a lot more updates, maybe not to Bitcoin, but to a lot of altcoins as well, which does also affect the market for Bitcoin as well. Right here. If you look at Ethereum, the update was much more pronounced. So if we go back to Bitcoin, when was the update? That was the 11 p.m. on the 27th of October. Let's go over here. Boom. Guess what? Where it was? right there. So on Ethereum, it would produce a much better move. And of course, that's to be expected. The update was on Ethereum, so evidently the move would be on Ethereum as well. And as you can see, we do have this sort of bar horizontal pattern right here. And if you do look at this breakout, the target would be pretty much 47,000, 47,500, around 47,500 US dollars. So I do expect higher prices pretty much from this analysis. Now let's bring it back to Bitcoin. And let's have a look here on the RSI. So we are getting a lot of support right here on this line on the RSI, the 41 read. So I do expect probably more support bounces here and then a rise up. However, if we do drop below this, wait for the 4-hour closure, and then we might see prices below 60k to retest this bottom around $58,000 to $57,000. But I do expect that to be another buying opportunity at the 200 exponential moving average. Now, if we go on the shorter time frames for Bitcoin, so now I'm transferring over. This is the 1-hour time frame. We could apply the same analysis. So right here, right. So sometimes you can't draw a line here, and that's perfectly fine. So you got to know when to draw the line and when to not. Right now, we can't really draw the line, so we just have to default to the 4-hour time frames. Now, do we have any bearish or bullish divergence? So we have lower highs, no bearish divergence, higher lows. So no bullish or bearish divergence to be speaking of on the 4-hour time frame. If we go back there, we have the same lows, lower highs. So nothing to be speaking of right now. If you go on the daily time frame, we can go back to our moving averages. If we get a low here, there'll be no divergence either. So all in all, looks fine. Now I want to draw your attention on the daily time frame to this MFI signal. What I'm getting here is I'm getting an MFI signal. Pretty much whenever the signal reads below around 30 and it has like a V taper like this, it's generally a buy signal. Like this one was a good buy signal, this one was a good buy signal, and now this one as well. If we look at different exchanges, sometimes it produces better reads. So this one was much lower. So the lower it gets, the better the signal is. Now, if we look at the 12-hour time frame, so this is the daily time frame, but the 12-hour is generally pretty good for the signals as well. And right, what do we get? We got a signal right here at 58.7. So what do I expect? Basically, when we get these signals, we only get them every now and then. So if we measure the time frame from this signal to this signal, this is 15 days. And the previous signal back over here, right? When was that? Man, that was 41. Oh, sorry, that's 63 days. So now that we've seen the signal, we don't expect another low below this low until maybe 20 days or so. And that's why I think that Bitcoin will likely just continue going sideways and upwards from this point. All right. So that's the Bitcoin analysis. Now we can go back to Ethereum. So Ethereum. Let's have a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum has broken down out of its, I guess, this triangle shape in the RSI, and that's generally not good. But as you can see, we've got 1 fake out, 2 fake out, and maybe 3 fake out over here. And every time it's just gone down below this sort of support line here. It's just been a really good buying opportunity. But it has also tested a lower exponential moving average. All right, so this tested the blue exponential moving average. So that's the, I believe it is the 89 exponential moving average, and this is the green 55. And now we're just hanging around below the yellow exponential 21 exponential moving average in the 4-hour time frame. To be honest, I think it just might hold here based off this, and when Bitcoin starts moving upwards, it'll just come back above that. Now let's look at the 1-hour time frame and see if we get any reads based off this that can help with our analysis. Now what you notice here is if we draw this support line, what you can see is once we broke this support line, we have just been going sideways essentially. And I do expect, to be honest, we can't really draw any more support lines here on the RSI. It's not very helpful at the moment. Sometimes it's very helpful, sometimes it's not, and it's better off to wait for a clearer read before sort of making any assumptions. But all in all, we are moving along this price trend line in this general direction. Now I don't like having price trend lines without it being backed by the RSI, but I feel like this is just general direction, and I feel like as long as it keeps with the general direction, not really any downside targets to be made, and it's probably just going to continue going up. Alright, if you look at Ethereum on the longer term time frames, yeah, it's just been bouncing off this yellow exponential moving average, and I do expect if it does come down, probably another buying opportunity right now. Cool. Now, I want to bring the news into fruition now. So if we go to altcoins, let's look at our first news article from Solana. So the breakpoint update. So that's starting on the 7th. Oh my god, Solana has just been doing amazing moves right now. This is just another reversal signal to the upside, likely just continuing to increase in price based off the update. And I do think prices generally probably will increase until the update. So when is that? That is 7th, sometime around here. It's not precise because this the price is probably better reflected at New York and American time, but I'm just basing this off Australian time just for now. So generally do see price probably increasing till that event. Maybe midway through the event, it probably does come back down, retest one of the either the yellow line or this breakout. I think it does retest that breakout at some point, and I would just expect that to be another good buying opportunity. So what is that? That's basically the $220 mark in US dollars. I do think it will continue going up, maybe to 260, and then we'll see a pullback to 220. Sorry, after the event has happened, as usually is the case. Is to buy the lead up and sell the event. Now, if we go to the next article that we had, that's Polkadot Parachain auctions on the 11th of November. Polkadot. Now, this is 11th. Let's draw a line. God, my voice is like wrecked. My voice is getting destroyed here. Alright, so we're seeing a big move. We have a little pullback from 55. I think this very well does retest the 47, in which case the yellow exponential moving average will be coming up towards that to meet it as support. What do we see here? We saw a really nice bottoming read on the 29th of September for the MFI. Do we see any support on the RSI? Yes, we do. Let's draw a support line from here. Daily support. Very good. So if it ever comes back down here, it's probably a good buy. And also we saw this breakout over here. Broke out of this triangular shape on the daily RSI, which led to a massive move over here. Now if we go on the shorter term time frames, what do we see here? Nothing really. You just see an uptrend on the RSI. Do we see any bearish or bullish divergence? Over here, high. No bearish divergence. Higher lows. No bullish divergence either. So it does look fine. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I do suspect a bounce sometime soon into the event, actually. All right, next up is the Cronos mainnet launching on the 8th. So if we go to CRO token. Oh my goodness, this coin, man. This coin has the most extreme wicks. I would not be doing any sort of leverage trading on this coin. This is crazy. Oh man. Anyway, let's go on the 8th. So we see mainnet launching there. Probably does continue moving till that point. In any case, might do a double top around 50 cents, and then that would be a good time to wait for it to bounce off another one of these moving averages on these wicks and reaccumulate your coins. So I think that's all for this week. Thank you for bearing with me. If we take it back to Bitcoin to wrap it up, pretty much I do expect to bounce here first and foremost, and until it breaks down below like 58,000 on a 4-hour closure, like I don't really see any sort of lower prices. And pretty much if it breaks down on a 4-hour closure, I expect to see it hit the 55 or $56,000 mark on the green exponential moving average on the 55 green exponential moving average. But until then, it's just going up and sideways. It does look very good for the rest of November, and man, hopefully we do hit those $98,000 targets that Plan B was suggesting. Now, alright, I think that just about wraps it up. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, I very much do appreciate it, and I hope to wish you a good night, a good evening, and I wish you the very best, and I hope you do take care for the rest of the week. I will be coming at you with some shorter videos in the future, and you may have already seen Tom's short video on Jasmy coin. It's very interesting to see that coin, sort of the price action. As always, none of this is financial advice, but I do wish you the very best in life, and I will be signing off right now. Thank you, and see you later.